I don't know who Mr. Boston is. Maybe that's him right there with the top hat. I don't do any historical research of these brands before I buy them. I don't really do any research at all before I make these videos other than tasting them. And as for not tasting it here in front of the camera, which I think is the tradition with a lot of YouTubers, I must confess, I started my journey trying all the brands in town months ago, but I decided to keep the bottles. So instead of buying these brands over again or skipping them completely, I just thought I'd go back in time and tell you what I remember. So you're not getting the instant feeling of me drinking it, but I actually have a little problem with that, because I find that sometimes you take a sip and it's good or it's bad or something, but by the time you've gone down a little bit in the bottle, sometimes your taste buds begin to change on it. There's a couple of these brandies where I took a sip instantly and I was like, wow, that was really good. And then as I drank it more and more, it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of actually underwhelming. It's sort of the shock has worn off. Others, instantly you do get the taste, but this format that I'm doing here allows me time to think about it and to have downed an entire bottle before I make my comments. That being said, this particular bottle and this particular brand, I had no change in point of view from start to finish. So we're looking at today Mr. Boston, the blackberry flavored. This is 35% proof. Mr. Boston, I'm living in Portland, Maine, and they actually have a factory here in Maine. So this is not coming out of Massachusetts. This is coming out of Mr. Boston's friend, Mr. Maine. This is one of the first brandies that I bought. It is not an expensive brandy. At that point, I wasn't really interested in spending more than $10 on something I didn't know. It's very inexpensive, but it's very good. Highly recommend this. I've done another video on the coffee flavored brandy, and that was phenomenal. You could just drink that all day. This one is maybe better. Blackberry is where it's at. It's sweet, it's tart, it has that, alcohol flavor, but yet brandy for me, or these lower end brands, isn't a very strong drink. There's some things I drink and it just hits you. There's some vodkas that are just like, oh yeah, I know what I just consumed. Brandy for me tends to be a little bit softer. When you add these fruit flavors to it, or when they're creating brandy from something other than wine, I think it dulls some of that alcohol feeling a little bit. It softens it up, and you really taste blackberry here. This is a potent blackberry drink that I literally wanted to just drink this so much. This is how alcoholism gets started, and it's because of drinks like this that I limit my brandy intake quite seriously and make sure I'm not pouring more into the glass. I'm a little bit unorthodox in my drinking because this is so good. Blackberry, Mr. Boston's. It's smooth, it's wonderful, it'll hit home. You may be more of a fan than blackberry than you are of brandy when you're done with this, but you cannot go wrong. I've had 2 flavors of Mr. Boston. You cannot go wrong with this brand. So far, fingers crossed, that other flavors I've tried down the road are the same. You're not going to break the bank. It's really great. And yeah, there you go.